Are those cold, dark winter nights getting you down? Or is it just too hot to work where you are? Or is the virus finally getting on top of you? Don't be down, don't be sad. Come and join us at the 40K Ork community. Join the Facebook group and get yourself onto the Discord. Links in the description below. This month, being February 2021, as I'm recording this, the community are doing an Ork Bionic challenge build. Anything from legs to claws to saws to drills to stabbers to monowheels. So get yourself over there if you love your orks. This particular challenge closes on the 28th of February, but they do an extra challenge every month. So make sure you get yourself over there. So this week, I thought I'd mech myself a mech to get myself entered into the 40K Ork community challenge build, Bionics. And to make this mech suitably bionic to enter the challenge, I took some inspiration from my favourite novel, Brutal Cunning. So it's time to try and mech the boffin, the monowheeled mech from the novel, to go with Uftak. I kitbashed my own Uftak Gargant Slayer a couple of months back, and there should be a link to that video somewhere here, if I know what the zogging hell I'm doing. So first order of business was to find some suitable donor models. I knew I'd need a wheel, so the biker seemed like an obvious choice. And how ironically unlucky for these lucky death skulls. They've got no place in Mel's Force. And with a bit of chopping and snipping, they'd make perfect donor torsos for the boffin. I also picked up this awesome field tools kit on eBay, link in the description below. So many bits and bobs and gubbins for your Orky machinations. So I started by lopping off the front wheel and forks from the bike and cutting off the custom mega slugger that I'd made for this Mek Boy previously. Then carefully snipping it off the right hand and sticking it on the left hand of the knob. I then drilled out the knob's right eye. He's really unlucky, isn't he, for a lucky death skull. And then stuck in a piece of plastic tubing to give him a kind of bionic eye thingy. I then started working on the actual monowheel, using a bit of plastic card to stick the forks together and a piece of the field tools kit to make a sort of frame around the wheel and a stabiliser at the back. I then made a shock absorber using some plastic tubing and a spring from an old biro. I then used a massive dollop of green stuff, finely sculpted of course, to stick the torso to the top of the monowheel frame. Then another huge blob of green stuff to glue the wheel to the base. A few more bits of the field tools kit to decorate it up. I then cut the motor off the top of the compressor thingy in the field tools kit and stuck it on his back. I thought that'd be a suitable engine for a mech with a monowheel. I then made a sort of grabbing claw thingy out of some leftover bits from my son's Maulafine kit and the Big Mech kit. I then used the top of the adjustable spanner that comes in the mech's backpack, in the looter's kit I think, and made of spanner with a bit of plastic from the field tools kit. I used the chain and sprocket bits from the chopped up biker to connect up the motor to the wheel and super glue the thin piece of wire around the cogs to make it look like it was belt driven. I then couldn't put it off any longer. I had to sort out this dump, so I spent the next 2 days tidying up. With the mech shop now suitably tidied, I set about reinforcing the grabbing claw arm thingy with some plastic card and some plastic tubing and a few rivets cut off some of the other models. I then started building up the motor on his back with a homemade exhaust made out of plastic tubing and a gas canister from the field tools kit, and a bit of chain for his grot oiler to hang on to and an exhaust from a bike I think. I then added a few cables from the mech grabbing arm thing and his custom mega slugger, just got an extension to the cable up to his shoulder pad. Then covered up my beautiful green stuff work with the air intake from the bike. I then got to thinking, would he have enough fuel if he was out in the field? So I made him a stowage container for a jerry can of fuel on the side. It also helped to balance out the model a little bit, because he was looking a little bit one side heavy. I also shaved off the Mek Boy's thinking cap and stuck it on the knob's head, and a little bit from the power claw at the back, just to give it that little bit of extra detail. So that's the basics of the build done. Now it's time to get some paint on him. So first up, I primed the whole model in black. then gave it a good heavy dry brush all over with lead belcher. This would help me pick out all the details later on whilst painting. So I started laying down the base colours: Avalanche Sunset, Morphan Brown and a nice deep McCrag Blue for them lenses. Reds were first picked out in Corn Red, then highlighted up to Evil Sun's Scarlet. All the Avalanche Sunset was then washed with Seraphim Sepia, and weathering was a mixture of Vallejo Rust and Vallejo Metallic Air paints. I then added a little bit of Typhus Corrosion, some aged rust weathering powder and some Vallejo Earth texture for the base. And that's it, the boffin complete. So I now have the boffin and Uftak. This was really fun. Oh, sorry, that was terrible. But seriously, get yourselves over to the 40K Ork community and join the Discord. They're a fantastic bunch of guys over there. Really inspirational stuff. Seriously guys, stay safe and stay sane out there. And if you've liked what you've seen, hit the like button and consider subscribing. See you on the next one.